Hello and welcome back to more Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Justice for All, where in the last episode, we had our most annoying investigation yet because, oh my god, I hate every single new character introduced in this case. I hate all of them. They're all terrible. And I think we may have figured out pretty much everything about this case, except for how it happened, which admittedly is the most important part. But all the clues line up to make Acro the murderer. I just don't see how it's literally physically possible for him to have done it. But I guess we're gonna find out today. Good morning, Max!
Oh yeah, good morning, sweeties.
You don't seem like your usual sparkling self today.
I'm always like this before I go in front of an audience. I'm working up to it.
Von Karma, I'm gonna guess. What the hell are you doing here?
Don't get nervous, Maxie. Here, have a glass of milk.
Regina!
Oh, fabulous, my sweetie pie princess. You came to watch my performance today?
Of course I did. Mo told me that I should come and watch this.
Mo said that?
So what kind of performance will you put on today? Let me guess, you'll fly at the end?
It's not that kind of show, isn't that alright, my sweeties?
Huh?
I think my sweetie pie princess doesn't.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to realize what's going on. Or even where she is.
Well, Max, it looks like it's time to raise the curtain. I'll see you later today. Today, I'm just a member of the audience.
Well, fabulous. Enjoy yourself out there.
Good luck, Max. You're the best.
Regina's different, don't you think, Nick? Oh, god damn it, you didn't. Don't make me do it. I'm gonna do it. Top of the morning to you! I can't do that I can't say that in a serious face. Okay, here we go. Maya's expression is not helping me keep a straight face. Okay, look away from the TV, Top of the morning to you, laddies! Everybody, let's get ready to stick, stuck, and lick on the Mo! How low can you go? Ho-ho! Mo. Top of the morning to you, governor! Top of the morning. That's the ticket! Attacking the day starts with energy in the morning! The early bird gets the worm, but then again, worms lack higher brain function! Oh!
Oh my, thanks.
So how are you today, right? Well, I've got the feeling that today I'm going to face off against the real culprit. You mean Acro?
Huh? You think he did it?
Be careful! He's used to putting his life on the line! Literally! He's got guts to spare! If all I've got to worry about is how thin the tightrope is, I'm used to it already. It just means I won't be able to press him like I can other witnesses.
What are you going to do then, Nick?
I guess today we'll just have to do without our usual psychological warfare. Okay, so I guess by that, it means I can't press every single statement. Today we rely on evidence. It's the only way we'll get past Acro into the truth. You're right, but it's gonna be tough. Anyways, I want you to make sure that Regina sees it all today. It's important. Then she'll finally have to deal with the reality of what happened to her father. You want us to make sure Regina watches? Yes, that's why I brought her here to court today.
What's that supposed to be?
Okay, you know what? Credit where it's due. The clown, Pennywise, isn't actually that, his voice is inherently annoying, but that's a voice I gave to him. But he himself, at least in the last investigation and today, seemed like a pretty cool dude. So you know what? I'm gonna say that for 50% of this case, Pennywise has been pretty alright, but everyone else is awful. She needs to know that when people die, they don't just become stars. I may be an old-fashioned clown, but I don't believe in people becoming stars. Oh! December 30th, 10 a.m., District Court, Court number 2. Okay, here we go.
Court is now in session for the trial of Maximilian Galactica.
Prosecution's ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Miss Von Karma, you may proceed with your case.
The prosecution would like to revise its previous theory of events.
What's the meaning of this?
We have discovered a new witness, or shall I say, a new eyewitness. One that saw Maximilian Galactica fly off from the scene of the crime.
We're really still going with this.
Order! Order! I had a feeling something like this would come up.
Due to this revision, we are now prepared to explain how the defendant flew that night, an explanation the prosecution will present if the need so arises. In fact, my detective stayed up all night creating a mock-up of the scene on my orders.
Poor gumshoe.
Very well, please call your witness to the stand.
Time to get to work, or shall I say, time to walk the courtroom tightrope. There he is. Good old Acro.
Name and occupation.
Conveniently, but everyone calls me Acro. I'm employed as an acrobat at the very big circus.
Where were you the night of the crime?
I was in my room that night.
If you look at the map, you will see the witness's room is near the crime scene.
Apparently it's directly above the crime scene. My room was on the 3rd floor. The crime scene is below my window.
The night of the crime, the witness saw something quite shocking. Would you tell us what you witnessed?
Because here's the thing. You're probably thinking, dude, it's so obvious. He dropped something down on the victim from above. That's why the window's right above the crime scene. And you're right. That does seem really obvious. Except for one small detail. He's in a wheelchair. And I understand that it's only his legs that were affected. So he still has upper body strength, right? But here's the thing with that, is you still need to use your, I don't care how strong you are, you still need to use your legs to help you lift it up. That's why people tell you to lift with your knees, like bend down and then extend your legs up as you lift up, because you're lifting with your knees. That's how that works. So I don't understand how it would be physically possible for him to have lifted anything up, let alone drop it on somebody's head. I don't see how that's possible. Furthermore, that doesn't explain anything. Like, that actually just doesn't explain... Like, what would he have dropped? Would he have dropped the crate? Like, the crate, the box that was found... Here, let me go to the crime photo. Would he have dropped that box? Does that make... No, because it was under him. I don't know. I don't know. No, I didn't want to look at it again. Back out.
Would you tell us what you witnessed?
Okay. Here we go. Witness testimony. What I witnessed. It was just after 10 o'clock p.m. and I was resting in my bed. Around that time, I heard a large thump noise from outside the window. Then a few moments later, I saw someone flying right by my window. It was Max Galactica. I only saw him from behind, but that's what it looked like. To be honest, when I saw that, I thought I was dreaming. So, he said he only saw Max Galactica from behind.
This witness's testimony matches up exactly with that other clown.
If that's the case, there is very little the prosecution can add.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Also, this to explain how the defendant disappeared into the sky that night.
Before we get that far, I'd like to cross-examine the witness.
A foolish choice by a foolish fool who wishes to see them. Feel the foolish sadness of a sad fool. A man must know the proper timing for things, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Just like your old friend, Mr. Miles Edgeworth did.
Oh, you pushed the wrong buttons.
Mr. Wright, you have a problem with the witness's testimony?
In the words of Miss Von Karma, may I quote yesterday's proceedings? There's no way that actually happened.
Very well. We may proceed with your cross-examination.
Okay, so there's two things I noticed. First things first. Let's assume that what he said is true, and that he did indeed see Max Galactica from behind. How could you possibly have been able to tell that it was him? Especially from your room when you just woke up. BS. Second of all, Mo also said that he saw Max Galactica from behind. And it's like, okay, so in the photo, he was facing, so the building was to his left and he was facing straight ahead. And then Mo was behind him. So his back was turned to Mo when he went up into the air, which means that his left side would have been facing the window, which means that Acro should not have been seeing him from behind. So those are the two contradictions. So no matter what, it revolves around, no. Do I have to wait for each one? Okay. It revolves around this statement right here. The light in your room was turned off then, right? That's true. I was going to bed after all. So with the lights off, you were still able to clearly see a human fly by your window? The safety lights lit things up enough for me to see, but honestly, there was only enough light for me to see the silhouette outside my window. It was the person's back, so I couldn't see the white roses on the front.
Did you see any of the other symbols?
I clearly saw the silk cat. Oh, no you didn't! No, you didn't! Because here's why. This was found at the crime scene, so riddle me this, Acro Batman. How exactly did Max fly away from the scene still wearing the silk hat? I'm convinced that the person I saw was Mr. Galactica. The more I press him, the less results I seem to get. But maybe there was something fishy with yep, there's a contradiction. There was a huge contradiction with the testimony that was just given.
If there's a contradiction, then prove it with evidence.
She's right. Let's see some evidence. Do you have any evidence to support your claim?
Yes, I do. You claim to have seen the exact same thing Mo saw that night. Do you stand by that? What do you mean? The silk hat. What about the silk hat? I saw it on Max's head as he flew by my window. Well, you should have tried looking down out of your window that night. That would have been quite difficult considering the state that I'm in. Just looking outside of the window was a tough enough challenge for me. That's a shame, because you would have noticed the silk hat found on the scene. That's the ringmaster's hat, right? Afraid not. No matter how you look at it, this is Max's silk hat.
Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Are you saying that Max had 2 silk hats?
No. This is a handmade, one-of-a-kind model made only from Maximilian Galactica. Which means, Acro, that you've been fibbing on the stand.
Order, order!
As always, it looks like someone just had to open their mouth before thinking.
Are you okay, Nick? Well, I opened my big mouth and I have to back it up.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What would cause this witness to commit perjury in this court today?
He is the real culprit. Your Honor, on this occasion, the defense accuses Acro himself.
On this occasion?
Accuses Acro? What in the world are you accusing him of?
Obviously, we accuse him of the murder of Mr. Russell Berry.
Mr. Wright, are you serious?
Deadly serious, Your Honor.
Haha, I think your trips to the circus have served you well. You seem to have learned how to try to grab an audience's hearts and minds. Your Honor, don't allow yourself to be swayed by theatrics. Trying to wow the crowd with smoke and mirrors is the oldest bluff in the book.
Really?
If you don't believe me, just look at the witness. He's calm enough for it to almost be scary.
This bird is just hovering by my face, pecking at my eyes.
He's saying by the calm and collected. Mr. Dingling, do you have any response to the defense's accusation?
I don't even need to say a thing, do I?
What do you mean?
Everyone, take a good look at me. I can't even stand up by myself, let alone leave the lodging house.
That's true.
I understand that Mr. Wright is just trying to help his client. It is by accusing me of a murder of all things.
See, even a silver of common sense makes it clear the accusations.
See, that's the thing. I'm on Von Karma's side here. It doesn't make any logical sense. First off, what would he have even dropped? No. Obviously. Obviously, no. 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 I was already broken. No. It'd be funny, but no. Liam's already dead. No. It's gotta be this, right? But the thing, that's a 20-pound box. And it was under him, so it couldn't have been that. This wouldn't have killed him, and it was inside the box. Max's award ceremony, note. I guess it could be this. Because it was taken before the crime, like it was taken from the cafeteria before the crime. So I guess logically, this is if he did drop anything on anybody's head, which I still say is completely impossible, then this is what it would be. But again, I don't know.
She's right. Way to pick on the disabled, you heartless, cruel man.
She's a poopy head. See that, Mr. Phoenix Wright? If you're trying to drum up support from the peanut gallery, that's how you do it. I think that's enough of this little game. I've got a doctor's note to confirm that Acro was unable to stand under his own power. Maybe the defense is planning on making a claim to counter this as well. I can hear the defense now. Acro had an accomplice.
No.
What do you say about this, Mr. Wright?
No, he did not have an accomplice.
Now then, this must be when we get to hear the name of the mystery accomplice.
Not this time, Von Karma.
What?
You're not going to sucker me into this one.
What are you blabbering about, Mr. Wright?
There was no accomplice. Acro planned to commit this murder all by himself.
Order! Order! What are you getting at?
Way to keep them on their toes, Nick. Now I'm going to have to prove how it all fits together, which I have no idea. I have to show how Acro murdered Russell Berry. I have no idea. I mean, I have an idea, but it doesn't make any sense because Acro is physically incapable of doing it. Can you do it, Nick? Can you really do that? I know what I can't do. I can't stop now. If I stop attacking, I'm doomed. Alright, now let's do it.
Mr. Phoenix Wright. If this witness is the killer, then his eyewitness account is all lies, right?
When the crime was committed, where exactly was Mr. Dingling?
He couldn't leave his room, so he was here. He was obviously here the entire time. Pretty simple, eh? Acro wasn't able to leave the lodging house by himself. In that case, there can only be one correct answer. Acro didn't leave his room to kill the ringmaster. And the only way that that's possible is if he dropped something on his head, but again, how though?
What say you, Mr. Dingling?
You and your stupid birds. It's an interesting theory.
That's it?
Considering that what you propose is impossible, yes, that's it. Again, I'm on their side. How?
Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. As the witness has stated, your assertion is impossible. As he is in a wheelchair, there is no way he could go to the scene or be the killer. You've got a point.
It seems you've forgotten once again, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The defendant was clearly spotted at the scene of the crime.
That's true. The only way this is even kind of possible is if he dropped something from his window. Except that that's just not possible. I don't...
Time to enlighten us as to how Mr. Dingley committed the crime.
I'm gonna present the bust, but I'm going to present some evidence.
So what did Mr. Dingley use to commit...
The only thing he could have possibly used is this. But I don't know... Like, first of all, the only way he would have been able to get that to his room is by use of the monkey, right? And there's no way the monkey was able to carry this ginormous thing to the room. But I have no ground to stand on anymore. What's that, picture? It is indeed. The problem is with the item that's shown in the picture.
The bust?
It's quite a large bust, and because it is life-size, it is also very, very heavy.
Heavy?
Heavy enough to guarantee a certain death, especially if it was dropped from a third-story window. See? This is how Acro was able to kill the Ringmaster, with the force of gravity and Maximilian Galactica's ample bust. Yeah, but... how?
Order! So you're saying the bust fell into the Ringmaster?
A rather simple crime. Even if you were stuck in a wheelchair, it would be incredibly easy to commit. No? I would also object to that.
How could you possibly wheel a wheelchair with something so heavy? It's impossible.
Well, Acro is an acrobat. That's not an excuse. Oh, yeah, again, yes, he has more than enough upper body strength. But you know what he doesn't have? Leg strength. Because his legs are broken or paralyzed or whatever. And you kind of need that to help lift it up. No.
Mr. Dingley, how do you respond to these charges?
Well, Acro's at a loss for words. He should be. He knows that I'm getting close to the truth. I don't know how we are.
I'd watch what I say if I were you, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
What?
Your Honor, the physical health of the witness is material to this case. I demand that we get proper testimony from the witness himself.
Testimony, you say?
Von Karma. She's just using this testimony as a ruse to stall for time. There was absolutely no need for such testimony. Yes, there is.
The defense has a version of the murder. The prosecution has the right to respond.
The defense's objection is overruled, as it should have been.
Why can't he see things my way once? Because no logical human being would look at the situation and say to themselves, yeah, that makes sense.
Mr. Dingley, I'm sorry, but we need you to testify about your physical condition. If you have any doubts about your ability to testify, we can request expert testimony.
The witness will have no problems. However, let's all be respectful towards him.
Thank you. That woman will sink into any load or win a case. Actually, that's the other thing. How would he have known where to drop it from? Like, how... where would... He did... The note... Unless I'm... Here, I'll read it again. I don't think the note said anything... Maybe at the lodging house. But yeah, it didn't say anything about where to be. It's just... Or, like, specifically. So, it's just luck that it happened to be right outside his window. I suppose I could have lifted something the size of that bust. I have a strong upper body for working as an acrobat, and only my legs were injured. However, lifting the bust and looking out of the window would have been impossible. There's no way I could have exerted that kind of force on my low body. Exactly. It's possible in the middle location of the wingmaster's head. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm underestimating drop the bust. Yeah, I don't know how you would possibly have been able to... Wait a second. Oh, I think I might have... Okay, I think I might know. Because the box had the evidence which proved Regina was the murderer inside of it. So, the box is there. The only way for you to lift it or open it is by grabbing the handles on both sides and to squat down. And that puts your head over the box, and then... But how did he put the box there? did he... How would you...
I have no doubts in regards to the witness's testimony.
It was impossible for him to lift the bust and stick himself out far enough to look. Not to mention he could not have known the location of the ringmaster's head.
That's what I was thinking. What is your opinion on this matter, Mr. Wright?
I'd still like to proceed with my cross-examination.
He's simply stalling. It's shameful, really.
I can't let it get to me. I gotta focus. This case is just... I think I'm just... That's just lost me. I understand what it's trying to go for, but there's... It's so illogical that I just don't... Impossible for him to know when looking into the ringmaster's head. This box says otherwise. Acro, you didn't really need to lean out of the window, did you? What are you driving at, Mr. Wright? You already knew ahead of time what the ringmaster's head was going to be. Quite precisely, I may add.
Your silly hinting at things is pointless, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Enough stalling. How about you show us some evidence?
But I did such a good job hinting.
Yes. Hurry up and explain things, Mr. Wright.
Maybe you should take a look at this. The key point here is the wooden box.
The same wooden box that the victim was found hunched over?
The same. The question is, who placed the wooden box there?
Who?
When Ben and company saw the ringmaster, they didn't see him holding the box, which means that the wooden box was already placed at the scene of the crime. Yeah, but how? How? Physically how? Which means that the answer is to all these questions is not crystal clear.
You mean...
If the bust were to fall upon the point marked out by the wooden box, there would be no way that it could miss the head of the victim. Yeah, but how did you get the box there in the first place?
Order! This is unbelievable.
Finally, some of these loose ends are starting to tie themselves up. Now I just gotta keep going, and there's only one way to go from here. Forward.
So the next question I have is, who placed the wooden box at the scene?
It was Mr. Dingley and Courtney, but how? He connected it to a rope! Where's the rope? What? Okay, number one, where's the rope? Show me the rope. We did not see a rope anywhere. Where the actual trash is that rope? Number two, are you seriously going to tell me that a rope exists that is thick enough, or strong enough, I should say, to lower a 20-pound box down, and yet somehow thin enough for him to be able to string it up himself? Bullshit. Grade A certifiable bullshit. Yeah, I deserve that.
Allow me to whip some sense into you. Mr. Phoenix Wright.
All of which is deserved.
The ringmaster's head could have been anywhere when he lifted the box.
That's why the box was so specially made.
Specially made?
Indeed. It had the most peculiar feature. The weight, because you had to squat down to lift it. The box had a remarkable weight.
Weight?
According to the court record, it weighs 20 pounds. Just to lift up this wooden box would have required... Oh, I see. One would have to squat down and lift it up with their body, wouldn't you say?
That's exactly what I was trying to point out. The box is also very large.
The box also has carrying handles on either side, doesn't it?
That is correct. To lift up the box, you'd have to squat down. Which means that no matter who you are, your head would be in approximately the same place. Does he even bother to listen to me anymore? I've heard what you had to say. I must admit, I'm shocked at your imaginative skills.
Did you do it? Did you place this wooden box in the plaza?
Mr. Wright may have a vivid imagination, but I could never have done what he's proposing. I would agree. What? Mr. Wright, do you recall there? Yes, I do. It was in the cafeteria. Of course I remember. It was on top of the table in the cafeteria.
Then what happened to it?
I'd like you to remember one important fact, right? I could not possibly leave the lodging house by myself. Ah, that means... You understand what I mean, don't you? You had your monkey do it for you. You'd very well been able to drop the bus to my room. However, how would I have gotten the bus in the cafeteria to my room? Well, the answer the game is probably looking for is you ask the monkey to do it, but that again makes no sense because the monkey... I'm sorry, no monkey is able to lift that. That's just not a thing.
You see, Mr. Phoenix Wright, explain that. Don't forget, you said there was no accomplice. Tell us exactly how the witness would have carried the bus from the cafeteria.
Yep, we definitely have a problem here, but this is no place to get perplexed. I've got to get my wits about me and prove how things happen once and for all.
Alright, Mr. Wright, let's hear your explanation. How did the witness get from the bus?
It's gotta be the stupid monkey.
A monkey?
Everyone knows money. He loves shiny objects of any size.
Oh, like when he sold the... Yeah.
I got news for you, buddy. A tiny little ring is a lot easier for a tiny monkey to grab than a giant bust. Bullshit. So, are you saying the witness had a monkey steal the bust?
Of course he didn't order the monkey to steal it. The monkey stole it on his own and then brought it back home. Again, how? Physically how? Money lives in Acro's room. Acro's room?
But the bust was bronze, wasn't it? Bronze isn't all that shiny.
Maybe you should put the whip down sometime and read the court record. What's it made out of? Bronze such as taken from the cafeteria before the crime.
Boy, those are some very nice cards he's holding.
Yes, and they're made of platinum, which is very shiny. Okay, the court record does not say that. Acro. Money is a strong monkey, right? It is. I don't care how strong your stupid monkey is. He could be King Kong for all I care. Well, actually, no. King Kong would be able to do it. But, like, I don't care. The size of this monkey right here. Just no. Absolutely no. He's not a gorilla. He's Curious George. Curious George is not bringing back a bust of a human being. He's not carrying up 3 flights of stairs either. Bullshit. He wasn't able to handle that himself. I'd be on the market for a new room.
Order, I said order, Miss Von Karma. Where is the bust in question at this moment?
I don't know. We're searching for it as we speak.
That's a rather strange turn of events. But let's say that the monkey had not stolen the bust. What would have happened then?
Well, in that event, something else would have been used as the murder weapon. Wait. Then you mean this bust was the murder weapon purely by accident? It's possible. Maybe Acro saw money's mountain of stolen goods and thought to use one of them. Anyways, I think we've proven more than one critical fact. Namely, that it was entirely possible that Acro was the murderer.
Mr. Wright's argument was so circular I'm still a bit dizzy. However, his argument does hold water. There's no denying that.
Don't seem so bamboozled, especially by this fraud of an attorney.
Fraud?
You've forgotten the absolute most important thing, Mr. Phoenix Wright.
And what is that?
You should know. You forgot that your fraud of a magical client was spotted at the scene of the crime.
That's the other thing that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, how? Physically f***ing how?
There is no reason to doubt the clown's testimony.
That's true. How do you respond to that, Mr. Wright?
Nick, don't let it beat you down. I won't. This is my chance to turn the trial around.
When the murder occurred, there were 2 people at the scene of the crime. One was the victim, Russell Berry, and the other was the murderer himself. Answer this and only this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Who was the murderer the clown saw?
I have no clue. What would the clown have seen? I have nothing. Like, I actually have no clue what it could possibly have been, or who it could possibly. It has to be a who. Let's use the process of elimination thing we've been using. That seems to work. Couldn't have been Maya. Couldn't have been Matt. Well, I mean, it could have been, but the game's never going to give us a guilty client, so that's not the case. Ben, no, he was a witness. Gumshoe, no. No. Could it be? Oh, actually, do you think it's possible that Regina was there and then Russell, like, pushed her out of the way so that it would save her life, maybe? Maybe.
What is this supposed to mean?
Yes, what is that supposed to mean?
I mean, she doesn't have an alibi, right? You're getting barraged with questions, Nick. Why is that? It's because you're on the wrong track. Okay, that was wrong. Okay. So who wasn't? Okay, so it wasn't her. It obviously wasn't you. You were the victim. The clown saw something. Could have been the clown. You were in your room and you're dead. Oh wait, you're not dead. You're in a coma. But I mean, for all intents and purposes. I don't know. Who could it be? I actually have no idea. Maybe it was Ben? No, it's wrong. Yeah, but this is the same thing as last time. I don't... What the... Am I just an idiot? Like, what could it possibly be? Was it the monkey? Did he see the monkey dressed up in the costume? I mean, if he's able to drag that stupid bus back to the room, then he's gotta be a pretty big monkey. No, is that wrong too? What the... I have one shot. If I get this wrong, I lose. What the f***? I don't know. Like, I actually just have no idea what it could possibly be. I'm out of ideas. I have absolutely no ideas left. Because it's... I don't know. It's the height thing. It had to have been a human because the person had to have been standing up, right? And then had to have been wearing the cloak. So what the... Who... Is it actually Max? Like, am I supposed to lose this? No, the game wouldn't give us a guilty client. Who the hell? I don't have even the slightest idea. It can't be any of these people. We've tried everybody I think it could have been. So it has to be a thing. It's not the monkey. Okay, so let's just go bit by bit, I guess. It's not this. It's not this. No. Actually, maybe. Do we have the photo of... You wouldn't have just seen the silk... Because the silk hat was at the crime scene. Piece of paper. Broken bottle. Map of the circus. Dead lion. Autopsy report. Box. Seasoning bottle. The only thing it even makes sense for it to be is the bust. Because that's the only thing that was actually at the scene of the crime. But I don't understand how it... Like, I understand that it has to be this, right? Because we have no other options. We have literally no other options. It's either this or the case is a bust. No pun intended. But how? How is it the bust? Why? I don't... He saw Max's... Ah!
I asked who was the other person Mo saw on the scene. That evidence has nothing to do with the question.
Au contraire, mon frere. It does indeed have something to do with the question. Mo said that he saw Max's silhouette. But that he did not actually see the man himself. It wasn't a human being he saw. Are you really going to tell me that a bust? He confused a tiny little bust? Or, like, the bust is not the same height as a human being. And it doesn't explain how it...
How was it possible?
It's simple, really. When Mo actually saw that I was Max's bust.
What are you talking about? Have you tried using your brain at all?
You have no idea how hard I am trying to think. I have absolutely no idea. I have nothing.
So what he saw was weird.
Exactly! Doesn't make any sense! There's no reason why you couldn't attach... He was in his room! How could he have done that? It wouldn't be easy to hang one... Yes, but how? He was in his room with the rope! It doesn't matter who put it on the bus. Just wait a minute now, Mr. Wright. Who put the cloak on the bus? The question is of utmost importance to the case, don't you agree? You caught me. So, Mr. Wright, who put the cloak on the bus? It has to be Acro. But how? Like, how is it Acro?
I wonder, Mr. Phoenix Wright, didn't the defendant wear his cloak the entire time he was at practice? So then how did this person get a hold of the cloak?
Well...
Furthermore, how would this person have gotten the cloak onto the bust, I wonder? Because the person was not spotted on the scene.
I'm sorry. Did we just lose?
This court sees no one in the proponent of this trial. No one's already needed for more time to decide the case against the defendant. The case is extremely clear. See no room for misinterpretation of the facts. The court finds the defendant, Mr. Billy Bob Johns. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at a higher court with a month from today's date. As a result, the court is adjourned.
Oh, what the? What the f***? We just lost. That doesn't make any sense. My brain is like running at maximum capacity to figure this out. I have nothing. I have actually nothing. And I have to do all that over again. I don't even have a full freaking bar anymore because I was rushing through it so fast I forgot what some of the evidence was. Who would it have been? Like, so he was wearing the cloak, but he was dead. He couldn't have put it on. Like, why would he have done that? It doesn't make any sense. My brain is broken. This case has broken my brain. I hate this. I know I'm gonna feel like such an idiot when it actually it gets revealed, because I'm missing something super obvious, I know it, but I'm just gonna present you, because you were the one wearing the coat, but the cloak, but there's no way that you could have actually put it on.
Fool him.
You are saying it was the victim himself?
My thoughts exactly.
The victim himself placed the cloak on the bust.
Place the cloak isn't really the right way of putting it.
Then what would be the right way of putting it, Mr. Wright?
Explain yourself.
Nick, do you really have a handle on all this? I'm fine, Maya. I'm finally putting all the pieces together. Are you? Because I'm certainly not. There's really only one picture I can paint anyways. Alright, so you want to know what really happened that night? Let's step back in time. I would love to know. I would genuinely love to know. Acro used a rope to lower the wooden box into the scene, which is so dumb, because there's number one, we didn't find the rope. Number two, there's no way there's a rope on this planet that exists that is thick, strong enough to hold that freaking bus and thin enough for him to be able to use. That doesn't, find me that rope. It does not exist. It just doesn't. It just freaking doesn't. Then he attached that rope to the bust and dangled the bust out of his bedroom window directly above the wooden box. Okay, it's all dumb, but let's assume that I believe it. At the same time, the ringmaster told Max to wait in his room and went to the scene. Of course, at the time, the ringmaster was wearing Max's costume. Perhaps anyone would recognize him that night. Seems a little silly, but okay. Just as he feared, he was spotted at the entrance of the lodging house by none other than a ventriloquist and his puppet, Ben and Trilo. When the ringmaster arrived at the scene, he bent over to lift the wooden box. And that's when Acro took his chance and released the rope. Okay, that doesn't explain. This is when the magic happens. You've still yet to explain how in the world, in the very instant the bus of the victim, you have yet to explain how in the world the cloak actually... Oh, f*** you. Oh, f*** you. That is such grade A bull***. Are you f***ing kidding me? No. I'm sorry. No, there's no way. There's no way. That didn't happen. That did not happen. No. I'm sorry. That's such luck. That is such luck. That's not even a lot. That's not even logical. That's just luck. That's just luck. That's the biggest plot contrivance ever! What is this dumbass case? Oh my god.
As much as you try, as much as you scheme, this just can't be true. It can't be.
It's still a little early to getting up so pessimistic on karma. This circus isn't over yet.
What?
Bullshit. F***ing bullshit. The impact of the bust on the victim threw the cloak up and snagged onto the bust. And how lucky was that? Are you actually kidding me? There's no way that happened. That is such a slim chance. That is so unbelievably lucky that I have absolutely no idea how the game developers could have possibly thought this would be a fair conclusion to this case. Holy f***ing shit. That impact also caused the sound a certain witness heard, prompting him to take a look. That witness was, of course, Lawrence Mo Curls the clown. That stupid...
When Poe looked out his window, the cloak had already snagged onto the bust. Now, having completed the crime, Acro naturally went about pulling up the murder weapon. Of course, he had no idea that Mo saw the bust being raised with the cloak dangling on it, primarily because in his wheelchair he couldn't see out of his window, so he just kept pulling the bust up. Well, that would actually... So, I mean, look. If I believe that happened, it makes sense. It explains how they saw the silk hat go up. Because the bust has the hat on it. But I'm sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. The levels of slim, those chances you have of that happening. Like, what was your plan? What was your plan if that... I'm just gonna skip through all this. I stopped caring. What was your plan if that didn't happen? If it didn't snag on the bust, then the clown would have... Then the freaking clown would have seen evidence that... What evidence for? Evidence that... Okay. Whatever. I can just... Can we see some evidence? Yeah, the hat, because he saw the hat. But the freaking... What's it? There's no, like... What was your plan? Number one, what was your plan if the cloak didn't fall onto the bust? Number two, what was your plan if you actually ended up murdering Regina instead of Russell? Because if you actually murdered Regina, then the note that you left would have conclusively proven you did it. Dumbass. There it is presented explains all these contradictions. Do you ever show... I apparently don't know since Max Silk was found at the scene of the crime. However, remember what Mo said yesterday. He testified that the criminal he saw fleeing the scene was wearing a silk hat. There's only one explanation for that. The silk hat that Mo saw was actually the bust's. Makes sense if you look at it that way, then he did see the silk hat, sort of.
Fine, you've got one, but what about the other contradiction?
The other contradiction?
Remember what that ventriloquist said in court? He said that we witnessed white roses on Max's chest that night, but the clown's testimony doesn't match. The clown said there were no white roses. I'd like to see you try and explain that one away. Can you do it, Nick?
Of course, I can explain all of it.
What was that?
Please recall that instant when the cloak snagged onto the bust. Which is... Don't make me rewatch this bull again. If the cloak snagged onto the bust, what happened to the white roses? Do you get it yet? If the cloak got snagged onto the front of the bust, that means that the white roses would end up on the back of the bust. Which explains why Mo didn't see them. The white roses were not visible because they were on the back side of the bust. Okay. I'm actually just so sick of this case. Like, I actually just hate this. This is awful.
The witness feels like an incredible debt of gratitude towards the ringmaster. Any relation to the circus as well? Yeah, because he didn't intend to murder him. He intended to murder Regina Barry. Which doesn't make any sense, because if he successfully pulled that off, he would have been screwed with no investigation required. Thus, there's absolutely no way someone like this would kill the ringmaster intentionally, no. Your Honor, I'd like you to hear Acro's story. Learn about his relationship with the ringmaster and his life up until now. What do we do? There's no doubting that Acro deeply respected the ringmaster. You're not all this dense! Maya, you've proven yourself to be a crazy smart person before. Francisca, I understand that you're intentionally being vague. Judge, you haven't, shown the greatest amount of intelligence, but at least Maya and Phoenix, you two should know what's going on here! You're not this dense! What is this case?
Very well. However, I feel that this is a good place. Thank God, I desperately need one. I'll listen to the rest of Mr. Dingley's testimony after recess. This court will take a 10-minute recess.
Oh my god, that was terrible. That was genuinely awful. That music doesn't help me at all. Oh my god. So many problems. Look, I'm sure that if you try hard enough, you could probably poke a couple silly little plot holes in the first game. You could probably poke you could probably poke one or two silly little plot holes in in Reunion and Turnabout. But here's my thing, right? This is a bit of a side tangent. But when it comes to plot holes in movies or games, whatever, most of the time, they're so insignificant that it doesn't bother me, right? Like, for instance, in the first one that comes to my head, Raiders of the Lost Ark. When they're at the dig site,
when Indy and Marion get trapped in the Well of Souls, they emerge in broad daylight into a, well, they come out of a little building on top of a hill. It's a little hard to believe that none of the members of the dig site thought to check that building. Maybe that leads to the Well of Souls, but it doesn't really affect the movie's quality too much because the rest of it is so brilliantly made. So, like, most movies have one or two, right? It's really hard to write a perfectly airtight movie. There are a few I've watched, but for the most part, really tough. Which is why, for the most part, when plot holes pop up in games, it doesn't bother me. But it's a bit of a different matter when your script is so full of logical errors that nobody could possibly overlook them. Like, unless you just watch, like, you watch movies casually, you don't really think about what's going on, that's one thing, and if that's the way you consume media, then that's perfectly fine, right? You know, I'm not sitting here telling you that you're watching movies wrong, I wouldn't go to that extent, but, like, if you think critically about what you're watching, most of the time, like, it's really hard to overlook a script with a gaping amount of plot holes. But most of the time, I can overlook some. Like, when I'm watching a movie, I say, that didn't make sense. Wasn't really that big of a deal, though, so it doesn't really matter. But in this case of some movies, some games, and especially this case, I cannot overlook any of it. I physically cannot. Because, like, I probably could have excused it as just, well, the case wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Well, I mean, it was, okay, it wasn't good, but it wasn't awful. It was just kind of below average. But that single thing, first off, I'll go into it all at the end of the case, but that stupid cloak trick, that's such a plot convenience. It is such a major plot contrivance. It is inexcusable, an indefensible writing choice. What were they thinking? Because that's not a thing that you can figure out, right? That's not a thing you can deduce with logical reasoning or analytical thinking or by looking at the clues. That's a thing that just happened just because. Just by pure luck that happened. So that's not satisfying. Like, if I can't solve the mystery because I'm not smart enough, fine, whatever. But when something so dumb like that happens, that's not fair to the player in the slightest. I'm pissed. I'm genuinely upset at this. This is awful. Because the last case was so good. But this is just terrible. Genuinely one of the worst sections in a video game I think I've ever played. And that's on par with the Star Wars Republic Commando bridge section. And I don't even know. I need a break. I'm gonna need to take that recess as well before I finish this case, because this is just, oh god. Okay, well, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, even though I've been ranting and screaming for most of it. Stay tuned for next time. I hope to catch you all later today for what is hopefully going to be the conclusion of the Turnabout Big Top case. Goodbye.
The bust fell on his head, and the cloak flew onto the bust.